welcome to this Science Saves video. My name is Devinda Gardner and I am a clinical scientist in radiotherapy physics. Science Saves exists to raise the profile of healthcare science and its associated careers, and these videos, these interviews with healthcare scientists, are to help those who are considering a career in the field. So we're asking a number of questions to healthcare scientists, and today's question is: what might a typical day look like for you as a healthcare scientist, and who do you end up interacting with?
It's actually a really hard question to answer because it can change across the different specialisms. But certainly for radiation protection, where I am, a typical day could be something like you go out on a survey in the morning, so you could go do some X-ray quality checks, and in the afternoon you could be writing up the report for that. Or for example, could be doing a dose audit for a set of scanners over the year. In terms of interacting with, there's a range of people that we interact with. So other healthcare scientists, first and foremost, radiographers. The department that I work at provides radiation protection services to a number of hospitals in the area. So we're quite frequently going to outside centres and liaising with staff from private hospitals and the radiographers and the other clinical scientists. And I know from outside radiation protection, so in nuclear medicine, there'd be quite a lot of patient contact. So you'd be liaising with patients during radioiodine treatments, as one example. And you could also be liaising with a radiologist when you're looking at patients' X-rays or their SPECT images, things like that. So there really is a wide group of staff and patients that you'd interact with on a day-to-day basis.
My typical day as a trainee clinical biochemist includes working in the lab, running tests and validating methods, troubleshooting and training other staff members on how to use various machines, discussing unusual cases with the other clinical scientists, working on my STP portfolio and research project, reporting critical results to management, answering the phone to GPs to talk about many tests and results.
So a typical day in medical physics, you might never see patients. I saw very few patients throughout my whole career, but we work very much in the background, working on safety aspects, making sure that when you go for an X-ray, it's not only safe for you, but it's safe for the staff that take your X-ray. And we've done a lot of work over the years on minimising the amount of radiation dose that people receive during a medical procedure.
My days are usually quite different. I might be working in the theatres with nurses and surgeons who are testing new medical device, and I'll be collecting their feedback on it. Some other days I will be running some tests on the device myself to assess its design and functionality from the engineering point of view. Some other days I might be preparing financial reports, explaining which device our hospital should replace this year and how much it will cost. There are some times when I need to go to clinical areas in a hospital to investigate an incident, and that will involve talking to the staff, asking about what happened, taking some photographs and collecting the device to bring it back to clinical engineering department to run some tests on it and check its history log to understand better what happened. So as you can see, there's a lot going on all the time.
Really, you work with the full multidisciplinary team on a given day in the hospital, whether I'm in the cath labs or doing echoes or ECGs or anything like that. Really, essential communication with everyone is really, really important. So with consultants, junior doctors, whether that's cardiac or otherwise, nurses, scrub nurses in the cath lab, specialist nurses who are experts in their field and have their own clinics, and radiographers in the cath labs, really it's anyone and everyone, physiotherapists if appropriate. We, as healthcare scientists, it's essential that we have effective communication with all these different kinds of people and can really convey what we need to for the best of the patient. So yeah, we work with everyone and anyone.
During my first years of my STP, half of the time I spent studying. You know, the STP has an academic part in which in my case is a clinical genomic master with the University of Manchester. Also in the lab, I have a number of tasks or competencies I have to achieve in relation to what I do in the master. Additionally, my supervisor sent me real case scenarios that I try to solve. Then we have some discussion and we compare my approach with his solution. As you can see, it is a learning process to become competent in these specialisms. Apart from all of this, I am involved in meetings and events that happen in my labs, such as audits, quality management meeting, and another multidisciplinary meeting. As a bioinformatician, we don't interact directly with patients, but interaction with another professionals occur very often.
The role of a clinical embryologist is mainly based within the laboratory, where we monitor embryo development and ensure we're providing optimal conditions for embryo growth. The role of an embryologist, however, does also involve communication with patients, where we provide updates on embryo development and answer any questions or queries and provide support that patients need. For me personally, I really do enjoy having a role where I can speak with patients, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted to become a clinical embryologist. Outside of the lab, we are part of a wider multidisciplinary team of healthcare professionals, which includes doctors, nurses, phlebotomists, administration staff. The list really does go on. And together we're in constant communication to ensure that we're providing as smooth a patient pathway as possible, which is tailored to meet each of the patient's individual needs.
Thanks to the guys for answering that question. I think what I got from that is that for a clinical scientist or a healthcare scientist, there really isn't a typical day in the role. Some of the staff we've interviewed are a lot more patient-facing, and some of them don't interact with patients at all. However, what they all have in common is that they work, and whatever work they do is entirely for patient benefit, and they'll work in a team of many different professions to ensure that patients receive the best treatment in the NHS. Thanks guys for joining us. Don't forget, if you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Take care.